Alright, so how you doing, boys? Hope you're doing well tonight. In today's video, back of course with another Barn showcase, and I mean pretty much since Barn and Ludo have become my favorite combo in the game, I figured we might as well revisit the King and Elaine. Now, I never ended up actually using this King alongside Ludo, so we did of course use the newer King, the better King I should probably say, but I mean I was having a whole bunch of fun with this Elaine unit. That they synergize oh so well together. Unfortunately, Elaine is kind of built as a unit. She's kind of half-made. She is a unit that requires the Holy Relic to be complete, but she still holds up to today's kind of units. Granted, she isn't going to be better than Trader Melee or the newer Festival King, but she still holds up and has kind of like revived this older debuff team. If you guys don't know the main reasons why I'd use Elaine, they are of course her passive. At the beginning of Ally's turn, applies Flower Petals of the Sacred Tree to all enemies for 1 turn. Enemies with this effect take 30% more damage and are affected by shock for 1 turn when attacked by fairy heroes. And the Holy Relic increase all enemies' damage taken by 30% when they have the shock debuff. So definitely buffs up fairy characters a whole bunch. We actually have the HP defense UR set for Elaine. Not my greatest decision in the world, and we do have a couple cosmetics purchased for her as well. I actually have more cosmetics for her than I do this King. This King is just a unit that when he came out, I never spent money on the game, and I mean, it definitely goes to show at least he looks cool, right? But yeah, no. This King, really good character. He does have the Holy Relic as well. Inflicts bleed for 2 turns when the hero deals damage with an all target attack skill. And then looking at his set, he does have the attack crit set. So this is the team we're using today. A little lackluster on the CC. Elaine is hurting it just a little bit, but I mean, yeah, let's jump right into it. First opponent, and what are we up against? Almost a mirror match. Out CCing, which definitely helps out Ludociel a whole bunch. Some pretty good card draw as well. The fact that we can just get the full King passive from just this card due to all the Holy Relics we have is such an insane, like, it is so powerful what they've done to this team. Granted, it still, I wouldn't say, is a meta team, and there aren't an awful amount of units that actually have the cleanse effect nowadays, especially since Margaret has fallen off in meta relevancy. Other than her, it's pretty much her and like the OG Blue King. Other than that, you're pretty much good to go. We haven't had any characters that cleanse stuff via their passive. Who knows, maybe when we get like a light type Mael, he might do something along those lines, kind of being like a counterpart to like a Trader Meliodas who gives debuffs via his passive. Super excited to see what they do with the next festival, especially since on the JP version, I mean, at this point in time, by the time you guys are seeing this video, we might already have the next update for the JP version and know what we're getting. So could be really exciting. Let's see, can I maybe kill Elaine with the 2 AoE cards? I always forget that our Elaine's AoE actually does damage. Not a terrible amount there, jeez. If we could please go for Ludo, that's alright. Get the Ludociel ultimate. Is his ultimate AoE? I believe it is. Attack on all enemies, yeah. Only unfortunate thing about his ultimate is the shield does only go to himself. I feel like it could be a whole lot stronger. In saying that, it would just be a replica of the Lolly Merlin ultimate, which came out quite a while after this Ludociel. Let's see, I think we might actually be able to finish it off here. 6/6 Ludociel as well, so should do a bit of damage. Goddamn, I am just so in love with this unit ever since he's released. Easy in my top 3 favorite PvP units. And back in the day, he used to be able to crit as well. He could do some nasty crit damage. And by the time you guys are seeing this video as well, we should have the Jormungandr in game. And what a terrible matchup. One of the only times I use the debuff team and we come up against this. What can we go for? Do we try and kill Chandler turn 1? Because if he puts up a strong counter, we can definitely be in a whole bunch of trouble. Let's just go for this. Yeah, why not? We'll try and kill Chandler, or at least get him as low as possible to the point where if he throws up a counter, if we have a strong hit, we could probably finish him off. Getting the crit there is definitely going to help us out as well. I figured since King crit, you know, Ludociel could probably crit as well, but that's alright. So yeah, we are getting Jormungandr. Not hoping for the craziest of luck on the banner. It is a 600 gem banner, so you can get the guaranteed at that 600 milestone. So she's not a character you really need dupes in. So although she isn't a character you need dupes in, I would highly incentivize summoning. If you aren't summoning, you're almost like purposefully hurting your account, I feel. Unless JP gets something absolutely crazy in the next week. Even then, I still feel like the value on that banner at this point is ridiculous. It is so crazy what she can just do to the deer. It's honestly mind-blowing. I'm actually speechless trying to talk about it. The amount of ease she puts on that activity is absurd. I cannot wait to actually be able to try her out in-game. Maybe I'm over talking her, I haven't actually been able to use her yet, but as you can tell, I'm excited to have her in game, and not excited to see what this melee is going to be able to do to us. We are all debuffed up and ready to get one tapped by any of his amplify cards, and this card draw is terrible as well. I mean, he has buffs on him, so I suppose we can get some use out of the Rupture card, even if we do get the Elaine, like the level 3 Elaine buff on. I just don't think we're going to be able to survive hits. Like, that's an ult removal card, and we just took like half our HP. This Rupture is going to probably kill King. Yeah. Terrible, terrible, terrible matchup. Actually, is this the worst match we could do? Because, like, I know Barn team is really difficult to fight against when using the debuff team just due to the regeneration of the gift card. This is probably as worse, or should I say, as bad as that when it comes to matchups. And I mean, I'm not one to skip matches as well, especially when doing these videos. I usually try and show just like 5 matches, whatever we end up facing. But I just got like 4 matches in a row where we ended up versing people all above like 340,000 CC. And I just can't, oh my god, jeez. I just can't compete with that, with this kind of team. There's no way, like, they're all Trader Melee, Blue, Christmas Awake, and Lilia teams, or like, they have like Ludociel or something with Holy Relic, and unfortunately I was stupid enough to spend Holy Relic materials on units that I didn't actually want Holy Relics for, and then they went ahead and did their whole, oh look, let's drop 1,000,000 Holy Relics in this next week, and unfortunately I fell victim to that. Also, I'm so surprised he managed to one-tap the Margaret there with the crit. That was crazy. And don't get me wrong, I feel like the Ragnarok Barn is a unit that helps his team out a whole ton, and he's probably the only unit that, like, backline support helps out the team offensively and defensively, which I feel like is another big thing the Barn has going for him, other than the CC and the fact that he's Barn, which means, I mean, he is the greatest sin out of all of the 7 deadly sins, but this team is probably the team that has the most supports when it comes to that 4th line. I mean, you can use the Barn, you can use the Festexecutioner. Zeldris is another really good pick with just the insane amount of debuff cards, or at least the insane amount of debuffs you're able to put out with one card. Death Pierce as well is another unit, which I'd probably say Death Pierce is probably the worst unit you can use for supporting this team. And other than that, you could also use the Fun Party Ozon Hawk. So 4 support units for this team, which I definitely feel like is the most out of any team. But as time goes on, I feel like this Barn will end up being a unit that, you know, ends up being the best support more and more. I feel like he probably even has that spot already. We are kind of in a meta, or like in the spot where Grand Cross, where we are seeing a whole bunch of debuff teams. I mean, with the sheer fact of Ludociel existing, so many teams you see are just full of just Keo, and it's good for the people that have Keo, but for the people that don't, it can be a very unfortunate situation. Let's see, I feel like we are going through these matches pretty well. Granted, we are out CCing most of these matches and out CCing opponents with Ludociel. It's just so fun. It makes the match just so easy. Honestly, it's a very strong unit, that's for sure. I wouldn't say he's like top tier or like super meta relevant. The Holy Relic definitely helps him out a whole bunch. Still wouldn't say he's there as of yet. Who knows, maybe if he just had a little bit better Super Awakening when it comes to like his sub stats and his main stats, he could easily still be top tier. I feel he has too many units that have way higher CC than him. I'm still really enjoying using the Ragnarok Barn. I mean, you guys see him in all these thumbnails, and I still haven't actually done a showcase where I use him in the front, which is probably a little bit weird. Maybe in tomorrow's video or the video after. Who knows, you might end up seeing that one. With the time of this releasing, I probably want to do a whole bunch of videos with the Jormungandr instead, so maybe within the next week we might see Barn in the front. What was his? He has the Demonic Hellzone card from Zeldris as his second, and first card, I think he has the same attack card as the Red Excalibur Arthur. From memory, that is. I'm just glad we got a Barn, and that's not an absolutely shafted Barn. Granted, look, he isn't as strong as the Purgatory Barn by any means, and I don't know if we'll ever get a Barn that is that meta dominant ever. Like, what he did to the game was actually insane. He is still so viable to this day, and probably one of the more annoying teams when it comes to Grand Cross. There's so many teams that just can't do anything against Barn, just due to the sheer fact that his HP pool and just how well the units synergize so well together. It can be impossible for certain units to out DPS that HP pool, and the fact that you get all the regeneration from the gift card. He's such a fun unit. I'm so glad they did Barn so well. Granted, the extra Rupture effect on 6/6, probably not the greatest decision. It also makes him so much more powerful. I'm still glad he got such an OP unit and such good costumes as well. The fact they gave him the Oni costume, so happy about that one. Not great card draw either. Let's see, I can go for you, that's definitely good. And actually, as long as I keep the Elaine debuff up, shouldn't be able to use any buff cards with Elizabeth, which pretty much makes Elizabeth useless. I'm pretty happy with how today's video has gone, in all honesty. We have completely stomped the people in all the showcases, but there were those matches for quite a while where I was just, I don't know what's with today. I've faced so many, even like outside of the recording, so many like 340,000 CC players. It's been actually ridiculous, and I can guarantee you I'm going to record a video tomorrow and it's going to be nothing like this, that's for sure. And there we go, that just about does it for today's video. Hey, like I said a second ago, pretty happy with how this team went. Really fun revisiting some of these older, jankier characters. I would definitely like to go ahead and showcase a couple other characters that I just feel wouldn't do as well in PvP. I really enjoy using these characters like the Green Halloween Deanne and characters like Red Eastern, ones that you don't see every single day. There are still a couple Holy Relics I have to grind up for showcases, so I definitely have to get around to that one. But I mean, that just about does it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please hit the like button, subscribe. Really means a lot to me, and I'll see you guys for some more Grand Cross content.